Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
The San Diego Padres, after winning 9 of their last 11 at home, have made the move to the Midwest, Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, Missouri. The scene as we open a 4-game series, the Padres and the Cardinals. Reimer Liriano, in his 7th official at bat as a major leaguer, pounded a giant home run yesterday. A key blow in the 5-3 win as the Padres defeated the Colorado Rockies. And Matt Holliday, always tough against Padre pitching, 17 career home runs, although this year in that cleanup spot has not been as productive as in years past. Well, we're very near that beautiful arch over 600 feet high over the Mississippi as we welcome you to the first of a 4-game series. The Padres, now only 5 games under 500, having won 5 in a row against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals are just 2 games out of first place. Milwaukee in the National League Central with Mark Grant, Kenberg. We're going to get a chance to see one of the new right-handers for the St. Louis Cardinals tonight.
And right out of the gate, playing here in St. Louis is one tough venue. And when you have John Lackey on the mound, it's even tougher because, let's face it, this guy's a big game pitcher. He's closed out 2 World Series. The velocity is down a little bit, but why do they acquire John Lackey? Only 2 games out. He is a bulldog out there. The last 2 starts, though, the one was good, the first one. The second one, not so good. Did not miss a lot of bats in Baltimore, so hopefully they can get some pitches out of the hand of John Lackey and go to hacking like they have been lately.
Yeah, he gave up 3 home runs in his last outing against Baltimore, 9 total runs. Well, the Padres, speaking of runs, are on a nice little run of victories. There's a lot of mojo.
I like this situation the Padres are in right now because it'll be a test against these Cardinals in St. Louis. So the last 14 games, the great record of 11-3, but how about the runs? Just under 5. Hitting .276. Why? They're not missing mistakes. They're working good counts. They're not swinging at balls, good strikes, even late hits, the big hits, the big RBI situations. It's the whole combination offensively for these San Diego Padres. Hopefully, we'll get some Gatorade baths as well for a lot of Padres in this St. Louis Cardinals series.
Well, since the All-Star break, the Padres have played in 8 series and have lost only 1 of the 8. Playing their best baseball of the year, can it continue against a tough St. Louis Cardinal team here in Missouri? We've got baseball coming up.
and the Cardinals coming up. Eric Stoltz, your starting pitcher for today, and I'm joined with Padres manager. The Padres and the Cardinals coming up. Eric Stoltz on the mound. He'll be your starting pitcher for today, and I'm joined with Padres manager Buddy Black, who has accepted the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge from Chargers general manager Tom Telesco. You ready for this, Buddy?
I'm ready, Chris. Yeah, I got word yesterday that I was challenged by Tom, so I'm going to take this challenge on. It's a great cause. I'm going to take the ice bucket. A.J. Preller is out scouting, watching players. I think he's going to make a donation. But, Tom, I'm taking the challenge, and I'm going to pass that challenge on to three of my colleagues, Mike Scioscia, Joe Madden, and Ron Renicky, three of my old Angel guys.
Sounds good. We'll let you get ready.
Okay. Cold.
Nice job, buddy. How's it feel?
Cold. Hey, you know what, though? Not a better day to do it than an August day in St. Louis. So much better. Refreshing. I'm ready for batting practice.
Sounds good. We'll let you go get changed. You got a game to manage. Maybe we'll have some ice bucket Gatorade baths today with the Waka.
Let's say maybe you'll get involved in that, too.
Sounds good. Hopefully they can keep the streak alive. It's been 5 straight. Can they make it 6 straight? We got game 1 coming up from Busch Stadium on Fox Sports San Diego.
strikeouts by Padre pitching tonight.
He caught the ball, and the winning streak continues, 5 in a row.
And indeed, this has been a happy period in the middle of the baseball season for the Padres and their fans, playing outstanding ball. And it'll be a test now, the 4-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals in the fight not only for the National League Central top spot, but for a wild card position. Currently, if the season ended today, they would be the second wild card in the National League. Let's see how the Padres are going to hit today. Will Venable, Tommy Medica, and Seth Smith. Brought to you by Toyota. Jed Jerko in the cleanup spot after going 4 for 4 yesterday. Yasmani Grandal hits 5th. Reimer Liriano 6th. Then Alexi Amarista at shortstop. Chris Nelson will be at third base hitting 8th, and Eric Stoltz.
And veteran right-hander John Lackey on the hill for Mike Matheny and the Cardinals. Throws a lot of pitches. The veteran right-hander sports the cutter, slider heavy. Curveball, rarely will he throw a changeup. The velocity down a little bit, but at times he'll touch 94, so anywhere from 90 to 92-ish on that fastball.
Lackey, 35 years of age at the trade deadline, came over to St. Louis from Boston. As we check the Cardinals defense, brought to you by Honda. Familiar name, Matt Holliday in left field, Borges, ex-Angel in center, Shane Robinson, a young right fielder, Carpenter, two-time All-Star at third, Johnny Peralta, the shortstop, Mark Ellis at second base, and Big Matt Adams at first. Tony Cruz for Yadier Molina, still injured. Behind the plate, umpiring crew, Bob Davidson calling the balls and strikes with John Tupain, Bill Welke, and James Hoy. And we're set to go on a beautiful summer's night. Temperature around 82 degrees, no humidity to speak of, and the first pitch swung on and missed. Will Venable. Venable against right-handed pitchers the last 28 games, hitting a lusty .338. 0-2. Lackey from Boston, Alan Craig going to the Red Sox, along with Joe Kelly, the pitcher. Ground ball foul. And it surprised some folks, the fans here in St. Louis, because they're hungry for more hitting. They are last in the National League in home runs, and yet they went after more pitching at the trade deadline.
Yeah, when you look at teams that succeed and stay in the hunt during the season, you know, bench and bullpen are very key. But starting pitching, when you acquire a right-hander like John Lackey, and this guy's been through the ringer. As a youngster, closed out Game 7 for the Angels. He's won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox.
Closed that one out, too.
Yeah, the guy's a bulldog.
And he gets Venable to chase on a breaking ball in the dirt. The out recorded at first base. 1 away. Well, time now for the Honda dealers of San Diego County to present Mark Grant with the keys to the game.
I'm going real basic tonight. Stoltz getting ahead, so key for the Padres left-hander. He's picked up the tempo. We'll get into his act a little bit later. And then play good defense. Can't afford to give free outs to this Redbird team in order to try to win the first game of the series.
Tommy Medica takes ball 1. 92 on that fastball from Lackey. Medica, like so many of the Padres, hitting well of late. Last 16 games, raising his average up to 266 because he's hit at a .358 clip. 3 home runs. Slow breaking ball drops in there. 1-1. Busch Stadium 3. It's the third different stadium in this location in downtown St. Louis. 9th season of baseball in this new facility. A high fly ball, right center field, hit well. Borges going back, and it's a right fielder, Shane Robinson, who's able to angle over and make the backhanded catch. That ball slicing away from the center fielder Borges, and Shane Robinson able to cover a lot of ground and deny Medica an extra base hit.
Tell you what, I had my eye on Peter Borges out there at center field. He's one of the quickest guys in the outfield in Major League Baseball. The kid can run. But like you said, Dick, off the bat of Medica, it's slicing towards Robinson, and he's got some speed himself, and he pulls it in. He takes away extra bases.
So 2 outs to left fielder Seth Smith in the starting lineup with a right-hander on the mound. Smith has faced Lackey 5 official at-bats with a couple of hits. Leads the Padres in every offensive statistic of note. And he goes after the first pitch and grounds Adams. Bobbles the ball, still has time to get the 3-1 put out. So Lackey, unlike the game at Baltimore his last outing when he gave up 9 runs in 5 innings, retires the Padres in order in the first. The rest along the Mississippi. Bush tied him. The scene. Cardinals come up, and here's their batting order. Matt Carpenter, Peter Borges, Matt Holliday hits third, then Matt out. 3 Matts in the first 4 spots in the lineup. Just call out a Matt, and you got somebody in there. If you're Mike Matheny, the manager, Johnny Peralta hits 5th. Mark Ellis, veteran second baseman, in the 6th slot. Shane Robinson, we've just seen him make a fine running catch out in right center. Tony Cruz behind the plate, and John Lackey on the mound. Veteran Eric Stoltz. First pitch is in there. Stoltz, the last 9 outings, 8 times he's allowed 3 runs or fewer. So he's really gotten his pitching rhythm in order. 1-1.
Dick, I think you just hit on it. Rhythm, right? He's picked up the rhythm, picked up the pace in between pitches and with his delivery. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Carpenter, a tough hitter, and he opens up the game with a line drive, but Liriano races in and makes the catch. Good break by the young right fielder to deny Carpenter a leadoff base hit.
Eric Stoltz can tip his cap to Reimer Liriano, and the scouting report for the veteran left-hander. Rhythm is going to get you. It's going to get you every time. And like you said, the last few times out, the fastball command has been there as well. And we all know that strike one is very important for Eric. He gives up a lot of hits, a lot of base runners. Stay away from the big hit as well.
Peter Borges, 27 years of age, from Scottsdale, Arizona. Interestingly, his dad is an employee of the San Diego Padres, a scout. 1-1.
Yeah, you know you're getting old is when you go to spring training and you meet his dad, Chris Borges, as a AAA player, and then you see his son in the big leagues. I'm getting old, Dick. His dad played for the Giants for a long time. Signed as an undrafted free agent back in the 70s.
Were you ever a teammate with it?
Never a teammate, but he was in the organization.
That one just misses. 2-1.
He can fly too. Peter Borges,
one of the fastest in the American League while with the Angels.
Yeah, he and Trout in the same lineup.
Ground ball to Hopper, and it's snared by Nelson, and Chris throws across for the out. 2 away to Matt Holliday. The Padres defense is brought to you by the Aramco Group, and here's how they're aligned tonight. Behind Eric Stoltz, Smith in left, Venable in center, and Liriano making a good running catch already. In right field, Nelson, Amarista, Jerko, and Medica on the infield with Grandal behind the plate. Stoltz, the 34-year-old from Argus, Indiana, on the mound. Reimer Liriano already showing one of his 5 tools, the speed on defense.
Yeah, Reimer's probably looking around and saying, the crowds weren't this big in El Paso.
They're always big in St. Louis, aren't they? Holiday sends a high fly toward Liriano. He's under it, and Stoltz has worked an easy 1-2-3 first inning. No score at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
He hit 63, 64 pitches. Felt good. You know, had to work a little bit, only through 2 2/3 innings, but got his pitch count where we needed it to be. Felt good. Didn't really command the fastball all that great, but his stuff was fine, which is the main thing, and he built pitch count. So right now, as far as where he is, he's on track to make his next start Monday, which is what we'd planned. So that's a good thing.
And that's your Geico quote of the game. Buddy Black talking about Andrew Cashner's second rehab start last night in El Paso. 63 pitches, which was quite a few higher than last time out, where he only pitched 24. 3 hits on 3 runs, and Buddy's saying that really he's just glad that he was able to get that pitch count up there. So up next for Andrew, he will pitch again in El Paso on Monday, and then they will look forward to see if he is ready to join the Major League team, guys.
Thank you, Chris. And if he is, we'll see Cashner against the Dodgers when the Padres return home for their next stand a weekend from this one. He did give up a couple of home runs, the 3 hits and 3 runs, but everything went well, feeling good about it. And that next start on the weekend will be critical to whether or not we see him sooner rather than later. Lackey working on Jed Jerko, 1-2. Jed with a big game yesterday. 4 hits and 4 at-bats for the Padres second baseman. A couple of doubles and a couple of singles.
Boy, they missed that guy on the right, Yadier Molina, out with that thumb ligament injury. Big void for the Redbirds.
Driven sharply to center field, but right to Borges. Jerko squares it up, but can't get it away from the center fielder's glove. Yadier Molina in uniform before the game today, just playing a little easy toss. You can see the bandage on that right thumb that has put him on the DL until next month, and they have sorely missed his talent both offensively and defensively.
It's fair to say heart and soul of the team, don't you think? Yeah, game calling, trust from the pitching staff, controlling the running game.
MVP character. Molina. Grandal hitting left-handed. The shift is on. 3 on the right side. Yasmani hitting .205.
And the shift is on. 3 on the right side for Yasmani.
And he's rolls it right into that shift. And the second baseman Ellis throws him out. 2 away.
So you think that this Cardinal team misses Molina? And what's the old adage, Dick? Proof is in the pudding. Well, here's the pudding. And read the proof.
Yeah, with Molina on the DL, 13 and 14, the team becomes average.
Look at that ERA, Dick, and the catcher's ERA.
Almost a full run more. Yeah, many felt he was the most valuable player in the National League last year. So 2 outs. Lackey has retired 5 in a row. And here's young Liriano. Hit a mammoth home run up into the 3rd level of the Western Metal Supply Company building yesterday.
Hopefully we see more of this. Turning on that pitch, sending it to the upper basket. Put the lotion in the basket.
Went right through that portal.
Yeah.
Rolling around in the restaurant and finally captured by a fan. High fly ball shallow and right. Robinson calling off Ellis. And the Padres go in order again. Lackey has retired 6 in a row. No score after 1.5 here in St. Louis. Second inning, last 2 outings have been outstanding. 2 wins for him, and ERA of 0.71. The last was in Pittsburgh, 6 1/3. No walks, 6 strikeouts, allowed only 1 run on his way to a victory over the Pirates.
You know, he picked up the rhythm, right? And when you do that, you get a more consistent release point. You hit your spots, you get that feel. And I remember Eric saying in spring training, you know what? I'm a feel type pitcher. I'm not going to blow the ball by these hitters. I've got to get that feel right out of the gate. And there you see the numbers.
Matt Adams hits it hard and through the hole on the right side. Adams in a bit of a slump. 3 for 27, but he rips that single to right field. First hit of the game.
Eric's going to give up his hits. If you could limit them to singles, I'll take the chances there with a strikeout here, maybe a pop up there, a double play ball. He's also done a good job as far as keeping the ball in the yard as well. The last 3 outings for Eric Stoltz, no home runs.
After giving up 20 in his previous 20 starts. Here's Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. He leads the Cardinals in home runs with 15. Ball 1. 32-year-old from the Dominican. The infield set for 2. 2-0.
Well, there's 3 guys back to back to back that can hurt you with the long ball. Holiday, Adams, Peralta, 3, 4, 5. Then they mix in some speed right there for the Cardinals at the top of the lineup. So got to keep them off balance, Eric Stoltz does, in this part of the order.
Oh, that ball hit hard and high, deep to left center field, to the wall and gone as Seth Smith watches that one fly out of here. And the Cardinals take a 2-0 lead on Peralta's 16th homer of the year. Well, we talked about the Cardinals last in the National League in home runs, but that doesn't fall on Peralta's shoulders. He's leading the way. This is his 16th.
Well, it was down a little bit. It was a 2-0 fastball. And Peralta just got extended.
Off the bat, you knew he got all of it, but he hit it so high. If you're a Padre fan, you hope that maybe it wouldn't clear that left field wall, but it had enough behind it. And Adams scores in front of Peralta, a 2-0 early lead for St. Louis. Mark Ellis, 1-1. Cardinals have returned home. This is the start of their homestand. They had a couple of stops on a road trip. They went to Baltimore and Miami. They lost both those series 2-1, so a 2-4 road trip. So some moaning and groaning from the faithful here in St. Louis, but they're right in the hunt. Milwaukee leading the Central Division. Pittsburgh a game and a half out, and the Cardinals only 2 back of Milwaukee.
You know what's unbelievable, and I scratch my bald head when I think about this, but the Cardinals have fewer home runs than the San Diego Padres. Go figure.
Trying to figure out how the Pittsburgh Pirates have lost a full game. I guess Milwaukee has won and Pittsburgh has lost. Fly ball to right field. Liriano another chance. Some earlier day action. So Milwaukee a bigger lead. 2.5 over Pittsburgh and St. Louis as we play at the moment. 43 games to go. Shane Robinson.
Well, Eric Stoltz knows the challenge now. Try to get into the 7th like he's done the last couple times and keep throwing up zeros. 2 is enough. No more.
Robinson just 6 hits and 47 at bats. And Stoltz 1-1.
You know, there are certain teams, Dick, where you look at positions and you want to have some power. Well, Peralta right there, shortstop tonight, hit the home run. Double digits. Got a little nugget here.
Chopped up the middle, tough chance, and it sweeps under the glove of Jerko into center field for a base hit. Only his 7th hit of the season, Shane Robinson. So 1 out, man on, 2 runs home, and the catcher Tony Cruz is the batter.
As I mentioned, Stoltz will give up a lot of hits. This is a 3-hopper through the middle, just doesn't find a Padre infielder's glove. So Peralta hitting his 16th home run from the shortstop position. Last season, the Redbirds, they just got 4 home runs from the shortstop position. 1 from Pete Kozma, 3 from Daniel Descalso. What a difference in that position.
Tony Cruz hitting just .210, replacing Yadier Molina. Takes a strike. Bottom of the 2nd here in St. Louis, and Matt Adams has led off this 2nd with a single, and Johnny Peralta high home run to left field for a 2-0 lead. With 1 away, Robinson a base hit to center. Ground ball to short, could be 2. Amarista flips to Jerko, back to first, a wild throw by Jerko, and on to second base, and we may have an obstruction call. Nothing indicated by second base umpire Bill Welke, because Jerko's throw was way offline, almost as if it struck the runner coming in. So Cruz safe on a fielder's choice, moves to second on the air.
Good feed. Hey, good old-fashioned slide. Jerko just rushes it and works underneath it. Yasmani Grandal was backing up. Good baseball slide right there. And as soon as Cruz saw that ball go by, he didn't break stride.
That'll bring up Lackey, the pitcher. Not a bad hitter, and he flies one right at Liriano. Back a couple of steps to squeeze it, and that'll do it for the Cardinals. But they get two on 3 hits. The big blow, a home run, number 16, by shortstop Johnny Peralta. And after 2 in St. Louis, Cardinals 2, Padres nothing. All right, thank you, Mike and Mark. We go to the 3rd inning. Amarista, Nelson, and Stoltz against Lackey. Johnny Peralta's 2-run homer. Bottom of the 2nd, giving the Cardinals an early lead. Amarista lines one, fair ball. That'll roll down into the corner, takes the carom off to the short barrier, and Amarista will scoot into second base with a leadoff double. Padres have their first base runner, first base hit off John Lackey.
Oh, what a great way for the Padres just to answer back after the Cardinals scored 2. Down and in. We know Alexi Amarista likes that ball in. We like it down and in. And you know, it's got that quirky angle down there, Dick, as you mentioned. Goes straight out to the line and then down towards the foul pole. 10th double for Alexi.
Nice to get at least one back after Peralta's 2-run homer in the 2nd. Here's Chris Nelson. Situational hitting. Try to get Amarista over to 3rd. Maybe all the way around. There's a strike. Nelson was 1 for 3 yesterday and had a big 2-run double in the series against the Rockies that helped secure the sweep. Padres 5 under 500, the best they have stood in a couple of months, and their 5-game winning streak is the best since June of last year. Fouled again.
See if Lackey in this situation with the runner on second base, if he starts to go more off-speed pitches to Nelson. That last pitch right there was a breaking ball. Definitely going to fish outside the strike zone here as you take a look at the Fox tracks. Brought to you by Nissan. Something down and away possibly.
Foul back.
Had a pretty good fastball to hack at. That's one of those fastballs where it's kind of tough to get the top hand on top of it and rifle it towards right center field. You know, here's a little nugget also when you take a look at the defense for the Cardinals. Peter Borges in center field. He's going to be playing on the shallow side more often than not because of his speed.
In the dirt. Good stop by Cruz. Well, John Lackey has had himself an excellent career. So consistent with 12 wins this year. That makes 11 consecutive seasons. He's won at least 10 games. Send him out there, you're going to get some victories. It gives you good outings, although the last one was atypical. Really got clobbered by the Orioles.
You know, Dick, you make a good point because it really is pleasing to the eye when you look at a track record like a John Lackey. Like when you look at his line, right, in the bio, and you see all those double-digit wins at the big league level. And, you know, at the end of your career, you say to yourself, my goodness, he won double digits almost every year. That's something to be said there.
And with his playoff experience, a bonus there as well as the Cardinals looking ahead, hoping they can return to the playoffs. They made it to the World Series last year, and Lackey was the man in Game 6 that beat St. Louis to secure the Red Sox World Championship.
Well, 11 of them. Look at that. What a tradition here in St. Louis.
Full count now to Chris Nelson. And a foul. Lackey's best year was with the Angels in 2007. He led the league, American League in ERA, won 19, lost only 9. And this year with Boston, he was 11-7 when they traded him. Out of Abilene, Texas. That's where he attended high school. 3-2 again to Chris Nelson. Another foul.
Good pitch to drive the other way. Nelson just cannot connect with that one. Majority of the pitches is at bat for Nelson being away. 10th pitch coming.
Mark Ellis coming in from second base, and now catcher Cruz also going out to the mound.
Maybe a little mix up on the signs.
So the Cardinals at the deadline made 2 trades. Justin Masterson from Cleveland, and he won yesterday to save the final game of the series in Miami. And Lackey, of course, from Boston, minor league lefty Corey Luttrell, also coming to St. Louis. They gave up 2 good players. The young pitcher Joe Kelly and Alan Craig, who was instrumental in their World Series season a year ago.
There's Justin Masterson on the right.
There goes Amarista, fouled away, and Alexi had a huge jump. He has stolen third a couple of times this year. Has the knack. And Nelson, quite a at bat. He's fouled off a half dozen pitches.
This at bat 11. First inning for Lackey 9. Second inning 10 pitches. And as you just mentioned, Dick, this at bat 11.
Fouled again. Amarista with the leadoff double. The Padres trying to climb back after the 2-run home run by Johnny Peralta in the bottom of the second. Amarista doubling into the right field corner. And Nelson in quite a battle with Lackey. The 12th pitch of this at bat coming up. And another one out of play. You look around beautiful Busch Stadium, there are not many empty seats. Hard to tell though. The seats are red and the fans all come dressed in red.
It's a collegiate type atmosphere, isn't it? It's like a college football Saturday here in St. Louis. You can't go, if you went to each individual seat here, you can't go, I'll bet 3 seats and somebody's not wearing a Cardinal jersey of some sort. You can't go 3 in a row without finding somebody. Now watch, I'm going to get burned on that one. And vendors aren't included.
Strike 3 called. Well, it was a heck of a battle put on by Chris Nelson, but Blackie prevails. Second strikeout. That'll bring up pitcher Eric Stoltz. Well, a look at the National League divisions. Washington with a 5.5 game lead over Atlanta, and the Central Milwaukee 2.5 over St. Louis and Pittsburgh, but the Cardinals could gain a half of that back with the win tonight. LA 5.5 in front of San Francisco, 11 ahead of San Diego. The wild card, St. Louis and Pittsburgh would be in. As Stoltz hits it to the left side, Peralta's going to throw to third, and Amarista ran into an out. Apparently, Stoltz trying to move on. He's got to hurry. And out. They're going to call Amarista out for going out of the baseline. Stoltz, however, did make it to second base, so Amarista maintaining the rundown long enough for his pitcher to get to second. But that's a no-no, trying to go to third with the ball hit in front of you to the shortstop.
You know what? You're absolutely right, Dick, but I'll tell you what. Alexi Amarista did one heck of a job. He was called out by third base umpire, as you mentioned, James Hoy, for being out of the baseline. Now, this takes a lot out of a runner when he's in this pickle.
6'5", 4, and 6, I believe. See, he went too far out of the base path.
Yeah, I'm guessing Peralta will get the put out there because he's the one who went for the tag when he was out of the baseline. So Stoltz. Peralta gets the put out.
So Stoltz winds up at second base, and Will Venable struck out the first time, trying to get Stoltz home. Good hitting against Cardinal pitching in his career, and he belts that one. Adams into foul territory to take a double away. He's big, 260 pounds, Big Adams, but he's got quick feet and a terrific glove, and he just robbed Venable of a double and the Padres of a run. Big Matt Adams nearing that one. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
Focuses on some great defense. Nelson back in San Diego. He goes 38 feet, catches it, dives his momentum. Third base umpire Ron Culpa says, yeah, you made the catch. Well, Tommy Medica's thinking, okay, Chris Nelson, if you could do it on one corner, I'm going to do it on my side of the field. Tommy Medica eyes it. Kind of stops a little bit, but his momentum and a little help from the fans. Helping out the pitching staff as well. 2 big outs.
That one fan didn't drop one French fry. Right hand was full. Left hand helping Medica.
And they're at the corners tonight. defensively for the Padres.
Those two plays making national coverage. As we move to the bottom of the third, good defense in support of Lackey, keeping the Padres off the board in the top half of the inning. Matt Carpenter leads it off. He lined out right fielder Reimer Liriano, sprinting in to take a base hit away from him in the first inning. Takes a lot of pitches. In fact, he leads the National League pitches per at bat. 4 1/3 average pitches taken in each at bat. It's an ideal leadoff man. 2-1.
You know, Dick, I look at those two defensive plays we just saw back on Tuesday night. Another reason why they were so huge is because that was the top of the order for the Rockies, and it was a close game. It was a 4-1 victory, but taking the bats out of those hands of Blackman and Rutledge.
Medica able to reach down with that big first baseman's glove and take one out of the corner himself. Not quite as outstanding as Adams, but nevertheless, good play, Medica. Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SDFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming game telecast brought to you by AT&T. Well, Carpenter's hit the ball very sharply twice, line to right, and that smashed to first base for the first out here in the third. Peter Borges grounded to third, his first at bat. Nelson in on the grass at third in respect to the speed of Borges. Take away the bunt. One ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, look at the way that Peter Borges wears those socks, and one Cardinal Hall of Famer comes into play. Red Shane Dienst.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the way they used to wear them in the old days. I love those stirrups with that Cardinal uniform. Those look like the full socks, though, that Peter's wearing. Not traditional. There's red.
He still makes his presence known around the ballpark. A legend here in St. Louis. Out of play.
One of the best uniforms, you think, Dick? The embroidered Cardinal and the yellow bat and Cardinals inscribed across the front.
That home uniform is even the way the red numbers on the back jump out at you.
That's embroidered. That's not a patch.
Swing and a miss, and Stoltz has his first strikeout. 2 away here in the third. Time now for our top tier player profile, brought to you by Arco. And we profile Matt Holliday, the veteran left fielder. Most RBIs after the All-Star break, 2012, 13, and 14. Only Hunter Pence with more in the second half of the season.
Good bat control. He's got power. Can drive the ball the other way. This is exactly how you like to face him with nobody on.
Now 34 years of age, out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, was an outstanding high school football player, heavily recruited, signed with the Colorado Rockies instead. Two balls and a strike to Holliday. Ground ball to third. Nelson the long throw across, and Stoltz a 1-2-3 third inning. We've completed 3. Tommy Medica will start things for the Padres in the top of the fourth. The Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. the arch. A sled will take you on that circuitous route, the curve up to the top. Quite a tourist attraction as we go to the top of the fourth. Medica takes a strike. He sent right fielder Shane Robinson to the wall in right center to capture his bid for extra bases in the first inning. Padres have only one hit. Amarista's double in the third off John Lackey. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah. Got squeezed on that one. And that's the money pitch for John Lackey. He's got to keep that ball down and away to be effective. Pitch number 2. Southland Technology says, it was a strike, but Tommy Medica got the call.
2 balls and a strike. Medica, Smith, and then Jerko for the Padres in the fourth. Trying to overcome an early 2-0 Cardinal lead on the 2-run homer by Johnny Peralta.
And it's time for the undershirt update. Hashtag no shirt, blue jersey, Tommy Medica.
Ground ball left side. Deep in the hole is the shortstop, Peralta, and he does get him. Boy, Medica, who runs so well for a big guy, almost beat that throw. In fact, he takes a long look across at Peralta as if to say, I thought I had a base hit on that one.
A good hustle always by Tommy Medica, and how close was it at first base? It was bang, bang. But Johnny Peralta gets to this ball. Tough play for any shortstop. With the crow hop, and just barely got it. That was close.
Very close. That Bud Black convinced that Medica did not beat the throw, so 1 out. Here's Seth Smith. He grounded to the first baseman the first time up and takes strike 1. Well, the Padres have placed Yonder Alonso on the 15-day disabled list. That's bad news. He was hitting so well, .421 since coming off the DL. And in his place, they have brought Jace Peterson up from El Paso. So they have that extra infielder. So Alonso back on the DL. He was really contributing to this good run. There's a shot sliced to left and just on the line. It skips up into the crowd, and that's a ground rule double as Smith goes the opposite field. He measured that one perfectly. Just fair. Padres' second hit, both doubles. With 1 out, a chance to get into that 2-0 St. Louis lead.
Well, we've seen Seth Smith in Minnesota go to right center field out of the ballpark for a home run. We've seen Seth Smith in Pittsburgh nearly hit a grand slam, going the opposite way, and that one just barely fair. Ground rule double. Umpire indicates that it touched a fan. 25th double for Seth.
One of the many categories which he leads the Padres. Here's Jerko. He lines it. Peralta can't catch it. Now the throw to first, and he gets him. So Jerko, not a fast runner, and Peralta, first of all, many thought he was going to catch that ball, himself included. He drops it and still able to get the put out at first base on Jerko, who has hit the ball hard twice for 2 outs.
In and out of the glove.
Smith holding at second base, and with 2 outs, it's Yasmani Grandal. Jerko lined to center field his first time up. Strike 1. Well, we have a new commissioner. Rob Manfred announced today the Major League owners voting on the replacement for Bud Selig. Selig retiring at age 80. And Rob Manfred, who is the chief operating officer with Major League Baseball, is the 10th commissioner. Very first was Kennesaw Mountain Landis back in 1921. Long time involved with Major League Baseball and with labor relations, so critical for a man who's going to lead this great sport.
I would have to say right guy for the right job, right? Been around for a long time and knows the ins and outs, and been under Mr. Selig for a long time. Bob Davidson wants no part of that one. Somebody called time.
Well, he's been the top lieutenant of Selig for many years, and so he knows the full operating system. And we wish him and baseball well under his leadership. commissioners, Happy Chandler, Ford Frick. Remember William Eckert, Bowie Kuhn, Peter Uberoff. Sadly, Bartlett Chiamati didn't serve the role as commissioner long because of a fatal heart attack. Fay Vincent and then Bud Selig. Two and one to Grandal. Seth Smith out at second with 2 outs.
Soft breaking ball, back door, outside corner for the called strike. Nice.
Lackey called his catcher out. He wants to go over this pitch verbally with him. Big guy, Lackey, 6'6" and 235. Went to college at Texas Arlington as a first baseman, occasionally relief pitching. And finally signs with the Angels back in '99. Fouled at the plate. He was a second-round pick of the Angels in that rookie year. Was the 2002 World Series champions with the Halos, and his pitching coach when he came up to the major leagues was the man in the other dugout, Bud Black. Two and two to Grandal. If Grandal keeps it going, Reimer Liriano on deck.
You know what an outing like that can do for a kid, right? You mentioned his rookie year, Game 7 World Series. You win that game, I tell you what, you talk about your confidence going through the roof. Hey, I pitched Game 7 of the World Series and won it as a rookie.
Beat the Giants in that Game 7. Fouled away. And then he is the only pitcher in Major League history to win the decisive game in the World Series with 2 different teams.
Yep.
Does it again last year against the Cardinals.
Quite an accomplishment. Boy, a lot of meetings between Lackey and Cruz.
Yeah, the fact that this is just the 3rd time he's been on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals and getting to know each other. Yadier Molina, he's just itching to get back in action. Boy, it's got to be tough, huh? Great player. Yeah. Inside, and Grandal with a walk. So the Padres had the tying run on base with 2 out here in the 4th inning. And the rookie Liriano steps up. That's the first free ticket from Lackey. Smith at second, Grandal at first. Liriano flied shallow to right his first time. Well, Lackey's one of those that has recovered from Tommy John surgery just 2 years ago. He missed all of 2012. Came back last year and was a 10-game winner for Boston. And looking for his 13th win tonight overall. One of those here in St. Louis, 1-1 his 2 starts. Again, not getting the call.
Yeah.
Lackey staring in as if to say, what don't you like about that, Mr. Umpire? Bob Davidson making the call. That's in there. Goes to the slider. 1-2. We're going to see another big, tall right-hander on Sunday, the final game of the 4-game series. Adam Wainwright, who's the leading winner for the Cardinals, 14 wins this year. Liriano calling time. A lot of off-speed stuff from Lackey.
Especially with runners in scoring position. Absolutely. We talk about the pitch arsenal for the veteran right-hander. heavy on the fastball. But you're right, Dick. You make a good point. We've seen a lot of off-speed stuff, not only this inning, but when the Padres had a runner in scoring position last inning as well. So 18% of the breaking ball. And Fredbird is in the house, spreading a little love to Cardinal faithful.
Liriano takes low.
Oh, John Lackey's giving Bob Davidson the look. Turned the back after that pitch. Bob Davidson saying it was down. According to the Fox tracks, it looks like it caught the bottom of the zone, didn't it, Dick?
Sure did.
Pitch number 5, right on the corner.
You can see why Lackey, he's had a couple of pitches on all 3. 1, 2, and 5 could have been called strikes. Yep. So 2-2. Liriano still alive with 2 on and 2 out. And that went definitely inside, and the count full. That'll give the runners an extra step.
Yeah, a gapper right here. That'd be nice for San Diego. Grandal, who I wouldn't say snail's pace, but he's not going to win any sprints. So he'll get an extra lead here as soon as Lackey kicks that leg with 2 outs.
And he struck him out. Pitch out of the strike zone. And that's it for the Padres in the 4th. They lead 2.
Area here at Busch Stadium, Ballpark Village. It's right across outside of the stadium, and they have a little bit of everything for you. Some shopping, some eating, even have a Cardinals Hall of Fame. Where I am is in Cardinals Nation. It may look like I'm actually inside the ballpark, but I'm across the street, kind of like a rooftop like you'd see at Wrigley, though I'm not quite sure the Cardinals fans hearing me would be appreciative of me comparing it to the Cubs, but it's kind of what it's like. You feel like you're right on top of the field, and a great view from up here. A lot to see. You can full bar up here, buffet, and you can get my favorite Missouri treat, toasted ravioli, Mark.
I think it adds a lot to this venue.
You bet it does, yeah. That was just kind of a barren area out beyond left field.
That's where the old Busch Stadium was. Cardinals Nation, very nice.
Well, Chris Budden knows all about St. Louis and Missouri. She's from the University of Missouri, not too far away.
Yep. That's in Columbia?
Indeed, the Mizzou Tigers. There's a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Matt Adams has found the same hole twice in a row. He singled exactly in the same spot in the 2nd inning.
They call him Big City. 6'3", 260, and he puts a charge in it. And if you're going to give up a hit to Big City, you want to give up a single. You want to keep him in the ball yard.
So we've had a big country.
Right.
Now a big city. Well, he was born in not a big city, Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania.
There's that shortstop nugget as far as home runs are concerned. Ian Desmond, Troy Tulowitzki. Johnny Peralta was 16. Chalked one on tonight.
Oh, tragic. Tulowitzki leading the National League and Major Leagues in hitting at 340. And all those home runs. He's been on the sidelines for 2-3 weeks and now out for the season with hip surgery. Ground ball should be 2. Jerko with the flip. Amarista back to first. Awkward relay in the middle spot, but the Padres turn 2, 4, 6, 3. And time now for our Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League leaders, most strikeouts by pitchers in the month of August. And the Padres in the 5th slot behind the Dodgers, Nationals, Reds, and Mets. Stoltz has only 2 strikeouts. Check that. 1 strikeout tonight. His opponent, Lackey, has 2.
Yeah, that was the 100th point killing for the Padres this year. To quantify that number, the Rockies lead in the double play turning category, 125.
Ground ball off the bat of Mark Ellis. Amarista across, and another quick inning. We've completed 4 at Busch Stadium, St. Louis, and the home side Cardinals lead by 2. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo, just $4.99 plus tax. By Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. As per usual, a sellout or near sellout crowd on this Thursday night in St. Louis. Busch Stadium holds over 45,000. Not many empty seats as the Padres open a 4-game series against the Redbirds. A couple of hits for San Diego, both doubles. Amarista leading off has one of them. Seth Smith the other. Amarista, then Nelson and Stoltz in the top of the 5th against John Lackey. Drag bunt, it's a good one, and Amarista's going to beat everyone to the bag. A base hit, beautifully executed. Just took that ball with him. Once it got by Lackey, Amarista knew he could beat the pitcher to first base.
That's great hand-eye coordination. He almost squared around like it was almost a sacrifice situation. He was stationary in the box, and he's placed it perfectly and still beat it out.
So that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Chris Nelson, 12-pitch battle with Lackey in his first at-bat before he took a 3rd strike. Padres trailing 2-0 here on the top of the 5th. That's their 3rd hit. Cardinals have 4 off Eric Stoltz, but a big one. Johnny Peralta's 16th homer of the year with a man on to account for the 2 runs. Big gap in left center field for Nelson. Borges, the center fielder, is shallow and over into right center. That opens up a huge alley in left center. It's a fair ballpark, Busch Stadium. You can't say it's a pitcher's nor a hitter's bias. 336, a little longer down the left field and the right field line. The rest is symmetrical. One and one. Lackey, when he came over to St. Louis, had to make a deal with relief pitcher Pat Neshek. He wanted the number 41. Neshek was wearing it. He traded, I'm sure, with a little negotiating power. He chases the breaking ball, snap throw. Ruiz showed good arm action, didn't he? Amarista scrambles back.
Yeah, we see a lot of that when Yadier Molina is behind home plate, throwing behind the runners, and he will get a lot of guys. That's part of his game. And I'm sure that Tony Cruz talks a lot to Yadier.
A ball, 2 strikes down. Chris Nelson, no one out. Amarista with a bunt single. Ground ball up the middle. Peralta flipping to Ellis and back to first, a double play. 6-4-3, and potential rally quickly snuffed out on that made-to-order double play. Ground ball up the middle.
Boy, Peralta going to his right earlier, now going to his left. The backhand. Nice turn by Ellis there. Get rid of it. Get those spikes off the ground. You don't want to have those spikes into the dirt when you got a guy sliding in there. Nice 6-4-3 DP.
Yeah, the relay got Nelson by a couple of steps. Stoltz hit the ball well into the hole. First time up, Amarista was at second base and ran into a rundown and an out at third. Stoltz hustled into second, but the Padres couldn't take advantage. Center field, but Borges playing shallow and makes the play. We're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 complete. St. Louis 2, San Diego nothing. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cardinals leading 2-0. Bud Black's Padres since the All-Star break, first in the National League with that .271 batting average. They have only 3 hits tonight, however, and second in on base and runs scored, and that accounts for their success. It all adds up to 16-8, the best record in the National League since the break.
You know, Dick, you know what I want to see next year? See where it says NL rankings, All-Star break? I want to see since opening day.
There you go.
You get the rest. I'll clear that and give everybody a rest at home. But anyway, that's what I want to see next year. On this date, August 14th, those numbers since opening day.
Yeah, the slow start. It's just been a struggle for the Padres to climb the mountain, but they're doing a good job here, and now only 5 back of 500. At the start of play today, they were 10.5 behind the Dodgers. Shane Robinson takes a strike. Singled up the middle his first time. Tony Cruz and then the pitcher Lackey do here in the Cardinal 5th. How about Lackey? He just, his first game after the trade for the Cardinals, he pitched very well against Milwaukee. Won that game 3-2, went 7 innings, allowed only 2 runs, 7 hits. Back to Stoltz, a nice comebacker, and the rest is easy, 1 away. Then the second game, he goes to Baltimore and gets rocked. 5 innings, 13 hits, 3 of them homers, and 9 runs. Now he comes back tonight, and he's worked 5 shutout innings.
That's John Lackey, I think, being wild in the zone against Baltimore.
So Tony Cruz, the catcher, safe on a fielder's choice. Double play ball that he hit in the second inning, but the Padres failed to turn the double play. Jerko's throw was wild, and Cruz able to get to second base, but no damage done. Untie him, then tie him again.
I know.
It just.
I'm with you there on this one, Professor. The in-between pitch clock.
Stoltz is ready to pitch. There's a rule in the book. When the bases are empty, as they are now, and the pitcher is ready to pitch, 12 seconds for that batter to get ready. Now, Cruz is violating it right now, and the umpire has the discretion to say, strike one on you, pal. Get in there. Stoltz just waiting, staring in. People who complain about the game going too long, that's one of the reasons. 3-1. Yep, better do it again. It's a routine, it's habit. It isn't going to help the wrists any to unloosen and tighten them every time. That's on the corner, 3-2. And he's not the only one who violates this. You go to one of the best in baseball, Derek Jeter.
I think going back in the day, Mike Hargrove, right? He was one of the first ones.
Ground ball sharply up the middle, and Amarista smothers it. Can he throw him out? You bet. What a play. Amarista denying Cruz a base hit. Well done, Alexi.
That's why they call him the little ninja, right? Because he'll just show up. This ball looks like it's going to scoot through, but no, Amarista with the dive and the nice throw over to Medica with the backhand pick. Alexei? Yeah, you betcha.
2 outs to John Lackey, the pitcher, who flied to right his only time up. Taking all away, strike one. He lines it to center field. Venable able to gallop over and catch it. And another quick inning. 1, 2, 3 goes the Cardinals. On to the 6th, 2-0. Have all the news, all the best plays of the day, and then hopefully something exciting from the Padres' effort as they go for their 6th win of the season in a row. But they trail St. Louis 2-0 going into the top of the 6th. Venable, the leadoff man, to start things, and he squares and takes low, ball 1. Venable, Medica, Smith scheduled here in the 6th. Padre hits 2 by Amarista, bunt single and a double, and the other a double, Seth Smith. Slider high, and it's 2-0.
Okay, 3rd time around. What base runners, huh? We've seen John Lackey 2 times.
Outside, 3-0. First game of a 10-game road trip, 11 days. Take the Padres to L.A., then Arizona, 3-1. And tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Quite a pitching matchup. Outside, ball 4. Leadoff man with a walk. That could be a good sign for the Padres. Only the 2nd walk from Lackey. And it'll be Tyson Ross, 11-game winner for the Padres, and Lance Lynn, who has a 12-8 record for the Cardinals. A couple of right-handers going at it tomorrow, and we'll have it all for you starting at 5 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Now that is a great matchup. That is worth tuning in to see some big league baseball.
Tommy Medica hammered one deep to right center field, but Shane Robinson, the right fielder, able to run it down. He grounded it short the last time, and he takes strike 1.
You know, that strike 1 for John Lackey, Dick, is so important, like any pitcher. You know how we talk about that quite a bit, right? How about John Lackey? When he is 0-1 on a hitter, the rest of the at-bat, they hit 202. When he falls behind 1-0, hitters hit 345. It's the biggest differential in all of Major League Baseball. That's how important it is for John Lackey to get ahead 0-1. He finds himself 0-1 right here. 202, 0-1, 1-0, 345.
And he's only gone 1-0 4 times tonight. That's an excellent statistic. It doesn't lie. Of course, hitters know that number 2, so they got to figure they're going to get a strike on that first pitch. Infield turned a double play in support of Lackey the last inning, and that one by the third baseman's dive. Carpenter couldn't get to it. Racing on to third goes Venable, and into second, Tommy Medica with a double. The Padres' 3rd double tonight, and they're in business here in the top of the 6th inning. They've got the tying run in scoring position. Medica with no one out.
Way off the line was Carpenter, so Tommy Medica quick to that pitch from Lackey. First pitch was right down the middle of the plate. That was another mistake right there. And the Padres are in business.
Seth Smith has grounded out and doubled down the left field line.
Tommy feeling free and easy, not wearing the undershirt. Undershirt update, hashtag double.
You're really, are you trying to encourage him to keep unbuttoning? You want to see his navel? What's going on here? Second and third, no one out. Smith, the Padres' top hitter at the plate. Infield playing back. They'll trade an out for a run.
We'll see. It'll be interesting, Dick, to see how Lackey pitches to Seth Smith here with righty Jerko on deck. I know there's nobody out, but this is the situation the Padres want to be in. Your best hitter with 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch missing way inside.
And again, this could be a pitch around.
Yeah.
Figure you got Jerko, a 200 hitter on deck, and you go right-hander against right-hander.
Yep.
Odds favoring the Cardinals in that situation. Although Jerko's hit the ball hard twice for outs tonight after a 4-for-4 game yesterday. So 2-0. Well, able to drop that one on the inside corner, curveball. No shift being employed in this situation by the Cardinals with runners at second and third. Smith able to hit 287. They used that a lot on him. Matt Adams not bothered by it. Off speed, and Smith way out in front.
Looked like another slider right there from John Lackey. So the first two pitches not even close, then he goes breaking ball, breaking ball. I'm guessing he's going to throw another one down and in, hoping that Seth Smith will swing over the top of it. Because look at Southland Technology says sliders down and in. First two pitches were fastballs. Last two, sliders down and in. There it is.
Down and in, but way down, and 3-2 now the count.
I'm banking on another breaking ball right here. What do you think?
One of those situations where if he misses, ball four, that's okay. You load him up, set up the double play. If Smith goes after one that's perfectly placed low and inside,
absolutely,
you might get a strikeout. Mike Matheny in his third season as the skipper of the Cardinals. 2 years, 2 times in the playoffs. Full count to Seth Smith. Runners at second and third, no one out for the Padres. And it's low, ball four. Now that was basically a pitch run. So the bases are full. A couple of walks, sandwiching a double by Tommy Medica. And here's Jed Jerko. 81 pitches now for Lackey.
Okay, meeting on the mound here. Where are you going to throw first pitch? Just so the infielders can get a sign to where maybe they just want to cheat maybe a little bit on that first pitch, right? Maybe a breaking ball. Maybe pull that breaking ball and you cheat a little bit that way.
Venable at third. He led off this inning with a walk. Medica at second with a double. Now Smith filling the void at first with a walk. Jerko is lined to center and grounded sharply to short. And strike one, that first pitch in there. The middleman, Medica, representing the tying run. Strike two.
2 fastballs.
217 hitter with the bases full. 4 for 10 this year, however, with a home run. But it takes a couple of pitches and he's in the hole, 0-2. Now Lackey can try to get him to go after something not very good. But he grounds it to the right side. Adams bobbles and gets one there, but that's all as a run scores. And the Padres cut into that 2-0 lead. It's 2-1 as Venable comes in. Adams looking for a possible double play chance, but didn't field it cleanly. So runners wind up at the corners with 1 out and a run in.
Well, John Lackey, after loading the bases, Seth Smith, he just went fastballs. Fastball, strike one. Fastball, strike two. And look at how quick and short to the baseball Jed Jerko's got to be there. Inside out fastball, drives in the run. Fielder's choice, 3-6. And runners at the corners now. So Jed had to protect. He got all fastballs out at bat.
Now Grandal has grounded to second and walked. Infield stays back up the middle looking for a double play chance. And he drills one foul. Oh, he got on that pitch, barreled it up, but just out in front. Tying run at third, 1 out. Credit Jerko with his 36th RBI. It's only 2 behind the leader, Seth Smith, now. That might do it, although it's fairly shallow. No, it's too shallow. Shortstop goes out for Alda to make the catch. Off the bat. Looked better, but a routine pop up to the shortstop, so the Padres unable to tie it on an out. And here's Liriano. Liriano was up with a couple of men on in the 4th inning. Struck out on a 3-2 pitch that would have been ball 4. He flied to right field his first time. Young Liriano, 23, just up 4th game and thrown right into the fire. Facing an all-star pitcher, Lackey. Runners at the corners. Breaking ball away.
I think that pitch that we saw off the bat of Grandal really wasn't the best hack. It's something down and away and kind of almost working underneath it rather than trying to drive it the other way, hence the weak pop-up on the infield. Playing him to pull on the infield, looks like. Second baseman Mark Ellis over towards second base.
1-1. Short sample size. Liriano, understandably, is a rookie coming up to facing major league pitching, taking a lot of strikes. Medica, tying run, 90 feet away. And the count goes 2-1. Jerko at first base. Adams holding him on, so there is a good hole on that right side of the infield. Liriano to aim. Chop to third. Going to be a tough play for Carpenter. The throw across, not in time, and the game is tied. Medica scores, and there's the speed of Liriano. That's what makes him such a delightful prospect for the Padres since they signed him as a 16-year-old. He's big enough to hit a ball 440 feet or whatever it was yesterday, and fast enough to outleg this play. Carpenter, tough chance, but Liriano outruns the throw, and we have a 2-2 tie.
Well, sometimes it's nice when you avoid the sweet spot, and a little chopper like Liriano there, nicely done. He calls himself safe, and they extend the inning.
Jerko moves to second, a 2-2 tie, and Amarista, who was 1 for 3 against Lackey coming into the game, has a double and a bunt single. So Liriano now with 4 RBIs in his 4 major league games.
Oh, Lackey getting a call on pitch number 1. Southland Technology says, Bob Davidson, 0-2. How about that?
And a fly ball to right. Routine. Shane Robinson coasting in under it to squeeze the final out. But the Padres, on a couple of hits and a couple of walks, have tied it here in the 6th inning. 2-2 in St. Louis. Brought to you by Sequan. Real friendly, real close. by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo, just $4.99 plus tax. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. Visit us at aramco.biz. So the Padres have negated the 2-run home run by Johnny Peralta in the second inning with a couple of runs here in the top of the 6th inning, and Eric Stoltz is even as he faces Matt Carpenter, Peter Borges, and Matt Holliday in the Cardinals' 6th inning. Carpenter has hit the ball hard twice, line to right, and shot one to Tommy Medica, who gloved it neatly the last time. 2-1. It's in there.
I like the breaking ball behind in the count to even at 2-2. 64 pitches for Eric. Hey, change up down and away. I like that.
Third base umpire Hoy waves it off. Full count. As we told you earlier, Carpenter is at bats. He sees a lot of pitches, most in the National League. Count now full. Stoltz has not walked a man. Line drive, right field, hooking, foul. .127 hits for this man at the plate, Matt Carpenter, leading in the club.
Fastball away right here.
And a walk. That's how the Padres' 6th inning began. A leadoff walk, Venable. And they rolled 2 runs in to tie the game at 2. And Stoltz does not walk many. 26 of his last 31 games, he's given up 2 walks or less. That's the key to his pitching. He just can't give any free passes. That's the first. Well earned by Carpenter. He took some close pitches. Here's Borges, grounded to third and struck out. Squares and takes ball 1. Better hurry. He can fly. Just in time with Jerko covering.
Man, he can run, can he? You know, I thought that Yasmani was going to get to that one because, you know, he can get to that and just kind of turn a little bit. But Eric Stoltz has to position himself and turn towards his glove side as Nelson is charging. Now he's got to make the perfect throw and gets him by maybe a quarter of a step.
So they move Carpenter into scoring position, a 2-2 tie with 1 out, and give Holliday and Adams a chance for the Birds to reclaim the lead. Holliday has flied to center and grounded to the third baseman Nelson. In the dirt, good stop by Grandal. Holliday left the game in Miami in the 7th inning yesterday with a gimpy knee. But he's back in there tonight. Now 34 years of age, Holliday. Slow and a line drive to left. Oh, is that a close line right to Smith, who fires back to second base, but not in time to double up Carpenter.
Wow.
You could hang a week's wash on that one.
Sounded good. He went down and got it. Bottom line, big league hang with him for Matt Holliday.
So 2 outs, Matt Adams. He has found the 3.5 hole 2 times. Exact singles between first baseman Medica and second baseman Jerko. Jerko playing more into the hole this time. Johnny Peralta on deck. Adams leading the Cardinals, raising his average with his 2 hits tonight up to 305. A ball and a strike. Just 25. Got themselves a good looking hitter. Got in on his hands, 1-2.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Eric Stultz. Heavy on the fastball, but look at the breaking ball and the changeup. And you know, when you have a pitcher like Eric Stultz who's going to give up some hits, right? He doesn't walk many hitters. You have to kind of be not the same but close with the breaking ball and the changeup because you can't rely on the fastball all the time.
He hasn't really thrown that super slow curveball tonight, has he? Maybe he's tossed that into the handbag and said, I'm not going to use that for a while. That 63-mile-an-hour spinner. Here's a big pitch. 2-2. 2 outs. 2-2 tie. Man at second. You know what I had today? Just kind of a sentimental thing, just a historical drink.
Let me guess. A Manhattan.
A nice tea? No. That's that other city that over there east.
Just
a nice tea, because in 1904, a gentleman decided in a hot St. Louis summer he'd put ice in his tea, and that's where it all began.
No kidding,
right
I never
here
knew
in
that.
St. Louis, yeah. 2-2 in the dirt. Full count now to Adams.
So going back to the old school, huh, Dick? Yeah, nothing like a good iced tea.
1904 was a very, very important year for this city. They also hosted the Olympic Games, the first U.S. city to host the Summer Games. Full count. Back to the mound. Line drive, and Stultz, it wasn't hit hard. Stultz had to kind of double take on that one, make sure he didn't close his glove too soon. 6 solid innings for the veteran left-hander. Innings complete, a 2-2 tie. Here's our Harrah's game summary. 2 runs for the Cardinals on this home run, Johnny Peralta, in the 2nd inning. But the Padres answered with 2 in the 6th inning. A ground ball by Jerko makes it 2-1. Venable, who had led off the inning with the walk, scores. And look at the speed of Liriano on this ball. Carpenter can't throw him out. Medica scores. And Liriano, with his speed, knocks in the tying run. 2-2. Our Harrah's game summary. John Lackey goes into the top of the 7th. 93 pitches. Chris Nelson leads it off. Takes strike 1. Stultz on deck, and then Venable in the 7th. Padres trying to extend their winning streak. 6 in a row. Nelson behind on the count, 2 strikes. So the Padres tied the game on a couple of infield ground balls. One the force out Jerko, the other legged out by Liriano. One of the young Padres making some news up in the Northwest League at that Eugene club. Marcus Davis, remember that name, a big left-handed hitter. He's a 22-year-old. Was named Player of the Month in the Northwest League. Another foul. He hit .402 in July.
Wow.
And he's hitting .337 on the season. Marcus Davis, left-handed hitting outfielder.
A left-handed pitcher. Sam Freeman heating up for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
Nelson, who did a lot of foul balls the first time up, and takes in the dirt now. 1-2. Couple of pitches from the century mark for John Lackey. He's walked 3. A leadoff walk turned around and bit him in the 6th. The leadoff walk to Venable. That started the 2-run comeback. And he chases. Another off speed, more and more. Sliders and changes and less fastballs as the game has progressed from Lackey.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Eric Stoltz has grounded deep into the hole. Fielder's choice and fly to center field. A good hitter, Stoltz, but not the kind of production with the bat that he showed last year. He's got only 3 hits in 35 at bats. Yeah, you might know that one foul to the left side. But he gives you the feeling you got a chance he's going to get a base hit every time he comes up. You know, of all the pitchers, I think he probably has the best hitting mechanics.
Well, Dick, you make a good point because Darren Ballsy says he's probably one of the strongest hitters. He and Tyson Ross. I mean, they can put a charge into him. You know, batting practice is batting practice. But Eric Stoltz says, Darren says he puts it near the shrubbery in center field near the batter's eye at times. That's how strong Eric Stoltz is.
Farm strong. Argus, Indiana, farm strong.
Throw that baseball out there like a bale of hay right onto the pickup truck.
Grew up on a 140-acre family farm. Wheat and soybeans. Had the basketball hoop on the barn. 1-2 the count. And a high pop up right side. Second baseman Ellis wants it. 2 away. Top of the order, and Will Venable. Venable has struck out, grounded out. Good play made by Adams, diving on the line to take a double away from him, and he walked to start the 6th inning and came around to score. There's the Padres box score, and Marista the only multi-hit performer with a double and a bunt single. Big double by Medica in the middle of that 6th inning.
You know, Dick, I think a big key is Lackey's cruising here in a tie ball game, but for the Padres to get into the Cardinal bullpen. We've documented and talked about the Padre bullpen, right? Best in Major League Baseball with a 2.29 ERA. Cardinals, 19th in Major League Baseball with a 3.60 ERA. So a big key for the Friars to get into that birdcage, get into that bullpen for the Cardinals.
Couple of lefties tuning up. You don't see that often in the big leagues where you have a pair of southpaws in the bullpen. They've got 4.
They've got 4 left-handers in the bullpen for Mike Matheny.
Lackey now with 106 pitches. Falls behind Venable 2-0. Will is homered off Lackey. 89 on the fastball.
Hey, now it's time for the Tallulah flamethrower. John Lackey getting it up to 94.
That was early.
Hopefully Will Venable can turn it around. Turn around that hot sauce. Breaking ball right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Randy Choate on the left. Sam Freeman on the right.
Strike 3 called. Venables striking out for the 2nd time tonight. Couple of strikeouts for Lackey in a 1-2-3 7th inning. Find something that's blue and San Diego-ish because we're looking for the fan. There we go, San Diego fans of the game. You don't have to go to the blue. Go to the old Padres style 84 uniform.
Yeah, very popular when we travel on the road. There's some Padre blue right there for you, Dick.
San Diego fans of the game. Not many of them, though. This is Redbird country as Stoltz goes to work. Bottom of the 7th. Peralta hit the 2-run homer just into the seats in left field for the 2 runs back in the 2nd. Leading off. That's a strike. Ellis and then Robinson to follow.
Well, I'm guessing Eric Stoltz is trying to keep the ball away from Johnny Peralta. Don't give him anything that he can yank out of the ballpark. If he goes inside, go way in.
Ooh, goes up the ladder and 1-2.
Yeah, I think the intention there is he wanted to bury it inside somewhere, and it got up and away from him, and it worked to his advantage. Now ahead 1-2.
Only 80 pitches. Ground ball sharply, but right to Nelson on 2 hops. And 1 away. That'll bring up Mark Ellis, who has flied out and grounded out. Again, tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. We invite you to be with us, and it'll be a dandy pitching matchup. Tyson Ross goes for his 12th win of the season against right-hander Lance Lynn. He's looking for his 13th win for the Cardinals. 2 men with ERAs well under 3. Runs will be precious, one would think, tomorrow night. We'll see that man on the right, Adam Wainwright, a 14-game winner on Sunday. Out of play. 2 strikes to Ellis. Former Dodger. Giving the young rookie Wong a night off as a starter. Outside 1-2. Colton Wong, the 23-year-old from Hawaii, has given them a good season. 2-2 now. From 2 strikes up to a full count. Wong, the regular now at second, hitting .252 with 9 homers.
You see every pitch away. Southland Technology says, hey, keep the ball away for these right-handed hitters. Give them right field. Give them right center field. You don't want to leave anything middle in. Something to, on one swing, you can take the lead.
Ellis has not homered this year. He lines that foul.
See that pitch there? Inside part of the plate.
Dodgers won earlier today in Atlanta. Took 3 out of 4 from the Braves. Right field, Liriano racing toward the line, and it's a foul ball. Kansas City, they're getting excited over the other side of the state. And the Royals beating Oakland 7-3 today.
They got some magic working there in Kansas City right about now, don't they?
They had a big crowd on a day game on a Thursday. Royal Stadium. It's at Kauffman Stadium now.
Correct. Beautiful venue.
High fly ball, center field. Venable easing into the gap and squeezes the second out.
Hey, after the game tonight, after the Padres win this one, stay tuned right here on Fox Sports San Diego with Padres Live. Mike Pomerantz, Mark Sweeney. They're going to be talking about Reimer Liriano's approach to hitting. Mark Sweeney's going to break that down for you. Also, a new commissioner. We're going to hear from the new commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred. So that's on Padres Live right after the game right here on Fox Sports San Diego. As always, brought to you by Cox.
Dale Thayer up. So Manfred wins the ballot. Line drive left field, charging is Smith. Well hit ball again, but to a Padre glove, and Stoltz has gone through another easy 1-2-3 inning. 7 complete, tied at 2. chance to get to see Rob Manfred as we check on Seth Maness. A pitching change brought to you by Drew Ford.
And I mentioned it earlier, 19th in the major leagues, the Cardinal bullpen with a 3.60 ERA. And Maness, this being his 53rd game, 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, 88 to 92.
And he'll face Medica, Smith, and Jerko in the Padre 8th inning. Medica with a key double in the 6th inning led to the 2 runs scored by the Padres. One and one. Maness from Golf Country in North Carolina. Pinehurst, North Carolina. He was an 11th round pick out of East Carolina University. Ground ball right side. Adams, look how far off the line he was. Goodness. That's abnormal for the first baseman to be that far into the hole, and it works for the Cardinal defense. Takes a hit away from Medica.
Yeah, Maness hit his spot towards home plate. Medica put it in play, and what do you know? Big city. Matt Adams right there. And Maness covering for the out.
Seth Smith, a double and a walk, and a ground out to first base. Jet Jerko to follow. Maness came up last year, his rookie year, 66 games, all in relief. Won 5, lost 2, good ERA, 2.32. Ball 1. So Lackey, 7 innings, 2 runs earned, 5 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. 2-0. 39th sellout of the season here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 45,126 on a Thursday night. It'll be sold out all 4 games of the series. Ground ball foul. Yeah, those Padres are drawn home and away, aren't they?
Absolutely. Playing good ball right now. The Redbird faithful want to see what's going on in the National League West with this Padre team.
Yeah, the San Diego Padres coming into St. Louis. Best record of any National League team since the All-Star break. 16 wins, only 8 losses. Softly hit to shortstop Peralta. And there's 2 away here in the Padre 8th inning. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T photo for you. Tweet your photo to #SDFanPhoto. A chance for it to be shown in an upcoming game telecast brought to you by AT&T.
Hey, is that the Hall of Famer? The Wizard, number 1, Ozzie Smith on the left?
Yeah.
Tim Gilliland. Gilliuma.
Rubbing shoulders with greatness.
Yeah.
There.
There's the Wizard.
The back flipping Ozzie Smith. The Wizard. Jerko. Credited with an RBI groundout. One of the 2 runs scored in the 6th inning. Hit the ball hard. First 2 times, line to center and sharply grounded to shortstop. And a fly ball shallow in center. Borges there for the catch. Maness works in easy. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. Baseball brought to you by Petco, the power of together, and by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Well, Eric Stoltz, another outstanding start for the veteran left-hander. Goes 7 innings, allows only 4 hits, but for 1 swing, the 2-run home run by Johnny Peralta. A near perfect outing for Stoltz, who leaves after 7 with the game tied at 2-2, and Alex Torres takes over for San Diego.
So with the way the batting order works in this inning, in the 8th for the St. Louis Cardinals, it'll be 8, 9, and 1. So Mike Matheny will pinch hit after this hitter here, Tony Cruz, and they're left-handed heavy on the bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count them, 5 pinch hitters all on the left side. So that's why you see Alex Torres getting this one guy here and going after the lefty on deck.
That's one of the reasons that folks love the no DH in the National League. Managers looking at that scorecard, knowing how to make their pitching changes based on what's available. And in this case, getting Torres, the southpaw, was acquired from Tampa Bay for just this purpose. Tony Cruz, and it's 2-0. Cruz has grounded out twice. Good play made by Amarista the last time.
Yeah, Dick, you know, Alex Torres, he can be once in a while, you know, you flip a coin sometimes when he's not really around the plate. That seems to be the case here out of the gate.
That's a strike, 2-1. 54 appearances for Torres, 42 plus innings, 26 walks. That's too many. Wearing that protective cap. Strike 2 on the inside corner.
Good pitch. You know, the splits for Alex are better against righties and lefties. 207 against righties, 232 against lefties.
And that was his pattern with the Rays last year. In fact, he held both right and left-handed hitters under a 200 batting average. Foul back by Tony Cruz. Colton Wong, the young man that we were talking about, second baseman, who's given the Cardinals good play at second and some punch, 9 home runs. He's on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes. And now the full count. Don't want to walk that leadoff man. A 2-2 tie here in the last of the 8th. And he got him with a changeup.
Yeah. Tell you what, that's confidence in your secondary pitch. The changeup. Well, wait a second.
Cruz foul tip that? No, didn't come close to tipping it.
That wasn't even close, was it? Yeah. Bob Davidson saying that was a foul ball?
Bud Black coming out of the dugout now, wearing a perplexed look. Wish we had a microphone here to get the explanation from the veteran Davidson.
If in fact that's what they're talking about, what else could there be on that replay? I mean, to me, it looked clear. It definitely hit the ground.
No, he's gone. Davidson saying he foul tipped it. Oh,
and then he motioned. You know what, Dick? After seeing it, he said foul tip, and then he said
strike
with the
3.
fist. He called him out
because the ball. Oh, first of all, the ball. I don't think it was a clean catch.
No, it was off the ground, right?
Which would make it just a foul ball, but.
I think Davidson is calling. He heard that.
I don't think he tipped it.
But he indicated that though. Yep. Bob Davidson indicated tip, caught, and I don't know why they're reversing the call. He made the motion, tip, caught, out.
Well, a big break here for the Cardinals. Now, Cruz gets another chance. He should have been punched out. 3-2, and right back through the middle. Amarista can't get it. A second life given to Tony Cruz by umpire Davidson, and he takes advantage with a single up the middle.
Yeah, that was a missed call. Dick, you are right, though. If it's tipped and then hits the dirt and then it catches glove, it's a foul ball.
That's right.
But that's not what
he called it both ways.
Exactly. It was clear. He called it foul tip, caught, and then he put the fist up for the out. And what do you know? Cruz singles up the center of the diamond for a base hit. Good effort.
Where he got it
Alexis.
wrong was it wasn't foul tip, that Cruz didn't make contact. The ball hit the ground, and that's the sound that Davidson used to call a foul tip. Well, let's hope that missed call doesn't come around to haunt the Padres here. As Daniel Descalso now will be the pinch hitter. Veteran left-handed bat used just in this situation. Good bunter as well, and he squares. Trying to move that runner into scoring position. Give the top of the order, Carpenter and Borges, a chance to break the tie. Two and 0. Nick Vincent. So Tony Cruz apparently struck out, but given a call from Davidson, singles to center. That changes the whole character of this inning. Oh my, 3-0. And this is the Alex Torres that you'll see. He's all over the place sometimes. And then he's rallied from 3-0.
Sometimes an uneasy feeling. Don't know how the control is going to be, and it's evident this inning.
The man's giving himself up. He wants to bunt, so throw it in there.
Good point.
He walks him on 4 pitches. Well, that's better than a sacrifice. No one out and 2 on for the Cardinals in the 8th. Didn't throw a strike on 4 pitches to Descalso, who was trying to give himself up. Here comes Darren Bolsey. Matt Carpenter, the leadoff man, certainly can handle the bat.
Yeah.
You would figure the bunt will be on with him as well.
And the main thing for Darren Bolsey out here is, like when Buddy Black goes out there, sometimes they have the whole infield. Get an out. I don't care where you get it. We need to get an out here.
Now, so far for the Cardinals, this has been gift wrapped.
Yeah. Matt Carpenter only 1 sacrifice hit this year. Interesting to see if he'll be putting it down. I'm guessing he's going to be putting it down, especially in this situation. Nobody out. Put runners at second and third.
So a phantom call by plate umpire Davidson, and Cruz then gets a second life, singles to center. And Torres cannot throw a strike to Descalso trying to bunt.
I know it's in the past. There's nothing you can do about it. But when the umpire indicates foul tip caught for an out, and then they reverse it.
Wong is going to pinch run for Cruz to carry the tie-breaking run. Carpenter lined out to right, hard smash to first, 0 for 2, and then a walk in the 6th inning. So he hasn't sacrificed but 1 time.
Right, 1 this year.
Let's see what manager Matheny has in mind here. He's swinging, and that's 5 balls in a row. I mean, he has such good bat control. He may be up there. You got to throw me a strike before I'm going to do anything. Wong at second. Descalso at first base. No one out here in the Cardinal 8th inning.
And he's tough to double up. He's only grounded into 2 double plays this year. He's got speed at the top of the lineup.
You got the infield on the move. They're expecting the bunt. Swinging. 1-1. A very selective hitter, as we've documented. Takes more pitches per at bat than anyone in the league. So he's not uncomfortable at all by taking a strike or even 2. All-star this year, all-star last year. Runners lead. Now this will be the true test. Will he square now 1-1? Nope. Hits the ball into left field for a base hit. Wong around third. He'll hold as Smith, playing fairly shallow, gets the ball in, and the bases are loaded. Carpenter shoots it to the opposite field.
Hey, and that's the right call by Jose Oquendo. You don't want to make that first out at home plate. The Cardinals have the makings for a big inning here. Carpenter, we mentioned it. Tough to double up. Knows one sacrifice hit this year. Mike Matheny gives him the chance to hit. Oquendo holds the runner at third base, that being Colton Wong. And plus you've got 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Cardinals with the bases loaded.
And Black has seen enough. Bases loaded, no one out. He's going to go out with a hook. Pitching change in St. Louis. We'll pause for these words. But the Cardinals have the bases full, no one out, and Nick Vincent, who has done some Houdini acts, is asked to perform once again. He's got Borges, then Matt Holliday, and Matt Adams scheduled here in the last of the 8th inning.
All right, Nick, it's time to get nasty. As you just mentioned, Dick, he has got some work for him and the ideal situation here. Nick Vincent has proven this. Look at the strikeouts, 45 strikeouts, right? He's a strikeout pitcher. That would be huge here. Then to set up the double play, a force at any base.
Well, against Colorado, he pitched both Monday and Wednesday, a total of 3 innings, faced only 9 men, and struck out 6 of them.
And Mike Matheny is going to counter. Remember, I mentioned the left-handed heavy on the bench. Looks like John Jay is going to hit against the right-handed Nick Vincent.
I always have liked this guy. He gives you good at bats.
Yeah, good player.
295 hitter. Better than average speed. Infield will play tight. Try to get that out at home plate. Maybe a infield the catcher to first base double play. Not on that ball. A high deep drive to right center field. Venable isn't going to get there. It bounces against the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes another, and it's a 4-2 Cardinal lead. Wong and Descalso score on a pinch double by John Jay. Wasted no time. Still no one out.
Got extended. Little two-seamer away. And as a pinch hitter, yeah, if you're going to get that fastball anywhere near the plate, especially with the numbers Nick Vincent has, you're going to jump all over it. John Jay got extended, put a good swing on it. Then the Cardinals take the lead.
Jay with a 2-run double. Carpenter stops at third. So the mystery call of the single, then a walk, a single. Torres leaves the game. In comes Vincent. First pitch delivered into right center field. And now Halladay pops it up right side, infield in. Halladay breaking his bat as he slams it down in anger. Jerko makes the catch, 1 out.
You know, for any pitcher to come into the ball game and nobody on bases loaded, it's tough to leave those runners out there. It just is. Nick Vincent, though, in the inherited runners situation this year, runners inherited before this, 28, only one had scored, right? No, and that's going to happen.
No, he's been money.
He has absolutely been great out there this year.
Here's Matt Adams, a couple of singles, both through the right side. He won't get to swing here. They're going to walk him intentionally, load him back up. Take their chances with Peralta. Who has wrapped into 15 double plays this year. Well, it's no satisfaction. Of course, the character of the inning changes when Cruz didn't strike out and then got a hit. But let's say that he had struck out. There'd have been 1 out. Descalso would have walked. Carpenter would have singled. And Jay would have come off the bench and at least driven in 1 run. But that doesn't make Bud Black and the Padres feel any better. So Adams joins Borges and Carpenter, or check it, Jay and Carpenter.
And with Sam Freeman, the lefty, Trevor Rosenthal, the closer for the Cardinals, getting loose.
So we can look ahead to the 9th inning. Grandal, Liriano, and Amarista are scheduled for San Diego.
Yeah, if the Cardinals add on here, it's a 2-run lead now. If it gets to be out of the safe situation, you'll probably see Freeman. And if some way Nick Vincent gets out of this, a double play right here. Safe situation for Rosenthal.
Peralta, the 2-run homer way back in the 2nd inning for the first 2 runs, takes ball 1. Grounded into a 4-6-3 double play and grounded to third the last time. John Jay there at second with a big pinch 2-run double. Well, the Padre bullpen has been best in baseball. Just a hiccup here in the 8th inning in St. Louis tonight, as Torres could not get any of the 3 men he faced out. Although you could argue a point he did get one of them. But 4 pitch walks when a man's trying to sacrifice are killers.
Yes.
Two and 1. Peralta, bases loaded. Infield back. 3 and 1. That was way low.
You know, we've been so spoiled. Nick has been just throwing the ball so well. You really don't see Nick Vincent with a 3-1 count, right?
Peralta in the catbird seat here. Doesn't have to swing. 3 and 1. Bases full. Stride. Oh, that was a pitcher's pitch.
Yes, it was.
Just did catch the corner at the knees. Got him. Or did he foul it? Davidson raising the right hand this time. No, you did not.
Well,
foul
hold on. We might have a scoring change here. You got to hold on. I was kidding.
Right. But it's similar to the play that involved Tony Cruz, who swung and missed at a ball in the dirt.
Little slider. Swung out and missed. Yasmani just could not hang on to it. That's a strikeout.
So 2 away, bases loaded for Mark Ellis. Ellis is 0 for 3, a couple of flyouts and a ground ball. Get out of this inning, 2 runs scoring, tough enough.
Yep.
Give yourself a chance in the 9th.
I would like to know what the explanation was. We're going to have to ask Buddy about that after the game. What Bob Davidson actually told skipper Buddy Black on that call. Yeah, there's nothing to do about it, right? But it would be interesting to find out what his explanation was.
You could see that he missed the ball by the swing was a foot over the ball. That's a strike. 0-2. Both runs, of course, charged to Torres. He can't be happy with himself. Firebrand guy. Got him. So Vincent gets Peralta and Ellis to strike out with the bases loaded, but the damage done. Pinch double, John Jay, 4-2 St. Louis.
Top of the 9th. Coming up on Padres Live, the post-game show, we will hear from Padres manager Buddy Black, see what he had to say about that Cruz at bat and the explanation that he got from the home plate umpire. We'll also have a one-on-one with Tyson Ross. What's been the difference of him since the All-Star break? We'll also talk about this St. Louis Cardinals lineup and his favorite thing about the city of St. Louis. All that and more coming up on Padres Live, the post-game show, following the final out here with Mark Sweeney and Mike Pomerantz back in St. Louis. Back up to the booth with Mark and Dick. Sorry.
No, they're all the same. Got too many Marks, too many Mikes. Some think too many Dicks. Trevor Rosenthal, not perfect. Look at the record, 1-6. I mean, he's a hard-throwing right-hander, but he has been beaten. Changes behind him. We'll give those to you in a moment.
4 blown saves for Rosenthal.
Brzezinski comes in behind the plate. Wong stays in the game at second base, and Jay in center field. 1-1 to Grandal, who has walked, grounded out, and popped up. Jay in center.
Rosenthal can get in the triple digits on the fastball. Changeup, curveball, cutter. 94 to 100 on that fastball.
97 on that one. .71 strikeouts in 55 innings for Rosenthal. That's the evidence of how overpowering he can be. But he's given up a home run and a batting average against .225. Full count. Randall will get on there, bring the tying run to the plate. Got to figure a fastball here, don't you? And a line drive, base hit center field. Grandal sitting on a fastball and lines it cleanly to center, and the Padres will bring the tying run to the plate here in the ninth.
Hey, nice at bat for Yasmani. And, you know, Rosenthal, he's going to challenge these hitters. He doesn't want to get cute, especially with the deep counts. And Yasmani eyes that fastball, and I love the grounder to the center fielder. Nicely done.
Sixth hit for the Padres tonight. Liriano has one of them, an infield hit to third base that knocked in a run in the sixth inning. That tied the game. We saw his power yesterday at Petco. Oh, just missed that one, or did he? Way up in the air in right field, and just enough room. Oh my. Robinson makes the catch as Liriano came close to tying it. Woo.
You know what? Even though that's an out, that's a good sign. Liriano showing that opposite field power, just working underneath this pitch a little bit. And I'm talking, when I say a little bit, I'm talking, you know, probably less than a half an inch. Maybe even not that much. If he gets on top of that ball just a little bit more, it's a two-run shot.
375-foot out. Amarista against Lackey, the starter, a double and a bunt single, 2 for 3. And he grounds it through the hole into left field. Amarista with a good night. 3 hits for the Ninja. Tying run is on, and a go-ahead score will come to the plate. And we have time now for the Bill Howell play of the game. John Jay off the bench. First pitch from Nick Vincent, and with the bases loaded, drives it over the head of Venable. One hop against the wall. That knocks in the 2 runs. The Cardinals enjoy now the 4-2 lead. Our Bill Howell play of the game, but maybe there'll be one even better if you're a Padre fan. Chris Nelson is the hitter. Runners at first and second. Singles off Rosenthal by Grandal and Amarista. Nelson has grounded into a double play and struck out twice, so it's been a tough night for the Padre third baseman. Jake Gobert, is on deck.
Oh, things are getting interesting here.
2-0.
Leave it to the gritty gutties. How about those gritty gutty Friars?
Outfield at prevent double depth, well back at all 3 positions, so a lot of hitting room in between. Watch out. Late on that swing. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Randall, Amarista with singles. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. 2-2. 98. Took it up a notch on that fastball. Ooh, almost hit him. Full count. 99. Two Cardinals. Padres have the tying run on. 1 out and a full count coming up. Line foul. Good wood, but just late getting to that fastball.
Remember, Chris Nelson had that good at bat against Lackey. Was it the 13 pitch at bat, I believe?
First time up.
Yeah.
Half dozen foul balls all to the right. Again, the 3-2 pitch coming up. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. That moves the tying run into scoring position. Grandal over to third. Tying run, Amarista to the second. And Nelson the go-ahead score at first with 1 out. And here comes Matheny out of the first base dugout. Jake Gobert has been introduced into the game as the pinch hitter.
I think Mike Matheny just wants to maybe go over a scouting report about Jake Gobert. Veteran catcher A.J. Pierzynski in on the meeting.
Yeah, you're right. No pitching change. He's got to stay with his closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the closer is in trouble. Gobert just called up in the last couple of days.
Hey, remember when Jake was up here earlier? He put some good swings on some pitches.
He's got some power.
He was swinging the bat well in El Paso as a Chihuahua.
He hit a home run his last game before being called up. Bases loaded with Padres. 1 out and Gobert the pinch hitter. Venable on deck. And he lines it into right field for a base hit. Amarista had to hold. Now he's going to challenge the arm. And here he comes to the plate. And he is out.
What is he doing? What's Bob?
No, Bud Black. One question, and Davidson, whatever his answer was, Bud kind of nodded yes, but I think he wants this to be reviewed. But that was a big gamble. Amarista trying to score on that ball to right field. Big arm by Robinson. And they are going to check on the replay.
You know, it's almost like Bob Davidson is just waiting for the play to go through and then, okay, well, we'll do this.
How about Gobert? First pitch.
Very nice.
Rifling that ball into right field to make it a 4-3 game. Now here's Amarista. Did he elude the tag? And then afterwards.
Well, Pierzynski's going after them, so that tells you that he did not have him.
And
to me, right?
Right. Why else would he go back
exactly.
and tag him?
So I'm calling whiff by Pierzynski.
Often the action of the fielder tells you whether or not the tag was made.
He's going after him again.
Now what is Davidson? He's motioning, and then now he looks at him.
You know what? I just hope they're on the headsets. I just hope they come up with a call or with a camera angle that clearly defines that Pierzynski whiffed on the tag.
Boy, it's
because those last two, those two that we saw, you really can't see daylight between player and glove.
There. Yeah, it doesn't look like he got him there. And he certainly got his hand on the base before he was tagged by Pierzynski, and Davidson seems to be in another world here. He just pointed. I mean, what does that mean? It means he didn't know.
Exactly. I think you're right, Dick.
He's already blown one play in behalf of the Cardinals in the last of the eighth when Tony Cruz swung and missed at a pitch in the dirt, but he called it a foul tip.
If Bob Davidson thought he got him on the swipe tag, he should have banged him right then and there. I just hope they come up with an angle that clearly shows that it was a whiff.
At the moment, one run has scored. Grandal coming in from third on the Gobert pinch single. Will Amarista be ruled safe and the game tied, and it's all in the hands of those in the replay booths in New York City.
Yeah, this is a huge.
This is the game.
Yeah.
It'll either be 4-3 with 2 outs or 4-4 with 1 out. Robinson makes a strong throw, although it's a bit up the line. So that forced the catcher Pierzynski to come away from home plate. And the fact, look at him, he's going after him. There's no question he thinks he didn't get him.
Look, Bob Davidson's pointing. Pierzynski goes for the runner. Now Davidson goes, well, no, I think you got him back over here. You got him over here. He's out. Then why did Pierzynski try to go for him again?
Yeah, that's just.
He should have banged him if he thought He banged him before he got to home. He should have banged him right then and there.
Yeah, he should have, but he didn't. And
right.
He's had a bewildering 20 minutes here as the plate umpire. I mean, the giveaway is the defensive player. If Pierzynski thought he got him, he would have just
Absolutely.
said, hey, he's out. And
no question
let's
about it.
go on to the next hitter. The next hitter will be Will Venable, by the way, at the moment with runners at first and second. But Black feels the game should be tied, and the Padres, with only one out, got a chance to take the lead here in the ninth. You could see Davidson's lips saying safe. Whether that means that's what the message is. Looks like he's been hit by a truck.
Well, 2 calls missed, right? The Tony Cruz swing earlier.
Yeah, we'll see what the replay show. The best we have indicates that he is safe, with Pierzynski giving it away.
Now, Buddy should go ballistic right here.
This is,
get your money's worth, Buddy. There you go.
Get out there. Yep. Third base umpire Hoy getting in the act here,
and I can guarantee it. You know why? Because they didn't have a camera angle to get the right call to see daylight between glove and player.
You know, when you run away from the play, as Pierzynski did, or run back to the play, that should be the most obvious of all clues. And the Padres are getting mistreated here in this game in St. Louis, but it isn't over yet. First and second, 4-3 the score. Venable the batter. Poetic justice would be Venable to tie into one.
Yep.
So the tying run now with 2 outs is carried by Chris Nelson at second base. Gobert the go-ahead run at first base. In the dirt, 2-0.
Hey, Dick, you just mentioned it, but it's worth mentioning again. Let's not forget the great swing by Jake Gobert. Pinch hitting there. Put a good swing on it. RBI. Then the out at the plate.
2-0 to Venable. 3-0. Tommy Medico's been a hot hitter, hitting over 350 the last 16 games. Ball 4. The bases are loaded again. Fans starting to get on. Rosenthal single, long out to right as Liriano flirted with extra bases. Single, Amaristo walk, an RBI single, play at the plate. Here again.
That's a whiff.
He doesn't get him. Now, how can New York
That's a whiff.
how can New York not see that? How can they not have? We only have a few tape machines and 6 cameras. They claim to have cameras covering every possible situation, and they can't get that right. That's criminal. But the bases are loaded, and Tommy Medica, is he going to face Pat Neshek, the all-star reliever? He's getting ready in a hurry. So this is a delay just to get Neshek up and going. Neshek has just been almost impossible to hit this year. The all-star, I mean, he just had a brilliant, he's kind of a sidearm submariner. He's gone back to his fastball. He's 5-0. In 50 innings, he's allowed 4 runs. Strike 1. And a St. Louis version of the Bronx cheer over screaming their pleasure at that strike as Rosenthal scrambling, bases loaded. He's just walked Venable. Medica waits. Ooh, almost to the screen. 1-1. Medica deep out to right, all the way to the wall in right center, and Robinson ran it down. He's grounded to short, doubled and scored, and grounded out.
Nice pick by A.J. Pierzynski, but Rosenthal's release point way out of whack this inning.
Padres with 2 outs, bases loaded, trailing 4-3, top of the 9th. Ooh, got his pitch right down the heart of the plate. 1-2 now the count.
25th pitch coming this inning for Rosenthal.
Fans on their feet. Sellout. 45,000 plus. One ball, 2 strikes. And the ball game is over. This is a heartbreaker. 4-3. It'll read in the scorebook. St. Louis 4, San Diego 3. But this one will be debated for a while as 2 umpire calls from veteran Bob Davidson behind the plate had a big influence in the St. Louis win. Stay tuned. Lots to talk about and to see again as we go to Mike Pomerantz.